All right. Welcome back to What She Said Sports. This Shinola girl checking in. All right, y'all. Have a great show planned for you tonight. I hope y'all can hear me. Hope y'all can see me. Okay. So y'all know the Pro Bowl. Shedeur Sanders' first Pro Bowl was a hit, right? Y'all know who won a game. This show is not about who won, who lost. This show is the celebration of everything that was happening at the Pro Bowl around the Pro Bowl, right? And y'all know Snow was there. Y'all know Snow was there. Shilo, Bucky. I think we saw Shilo, Bucky, DeAndrea, and Snow. Oh, we saw Miss Pilar, right? So we didn't get to see Coach Prime because I think he was still at Colorado. But I guess he'll be there this weekend. Hold on one second. Let me move my camera in. Okay. All right. So um I got some good footage. The guys went out after, not out, but after the Pro Bowl. They were seen turning up in San Francisco. We got some footage from that. Snow had himself a grand time. DeAndrea said, "I'm gonna be in trouble." He a ladies' man because the little cheerleaders with the little flashy flash pom poms. He absolutely loved that, and people commented how much we enjoy watching him grow up, and I totally agree. I totally agree. It just makes it that much more fun. But what I was happy about was to see Shilo. Shilo hanging out with Shedeur. Why? Because y'all know Shilo didn't get the opportunity to stay in the league. Y'all know what happened. No need to rehash it. But he moving on with his life and doing really well. But he did kind of address it, right? He did get interviewed quite a bit. And today they were on, it's called Twitch Rivals. Today was the Streamer Bowl. So it's where Twitch got some people together. I watched them for a little bit and they just played different games and just had community. And Shilo and Shedeur were both there. So I watched a bit of that. It's on Shilo's Twitch channel. It lasted for quite a few hours. At one point I saw them racing cars. So it was called the Streamer Bowl. I had never heard of it until today. So if y'all knew anything about it, y'all let me know. But I seem pretty new to it. So come on in, hit the like button. It's just a casual conversation where we getting ready to celebrate the behind the scenes. And it's some funny moments. It's the funny moments. One moment shows in particular why it is that people love Shedeur Sanders because he don't shy away from nothing. He don't shy away from nothing. He not scared of people. He don't act like he don't know who people are and stuff like that. He just real down to earth, and he's just a really good. I want to call him a good young man. He's fun. The Sanders are just fun to be around, whether it's Bucky and Snow or Bucky and DeAndrea or all of the boys. It's just the young man. It doesn't matter. So the Sanders had a good time at the Pro Bowl. And yes, some people were in their feelings, basically saying that, he shouldn't have been there. But I did read what I was thinking. So you know how they were talking about how like Pat Mahomes didn't go and somebody else didn't go and somebody else didn't go. Well, Justin Fields didn't go. He said he was getting ready for the season. Come to find out, it's reported that Justin Fields is getting ready to hit free agency, which is exactly what I thought why they were beating up on him. Because they trying to run off these, 17 to 32. We get it. So he is deciding to come back in free agency, not as a quarterback, but as a running back. And I'm like, Justin, don't let these people make a mockery of your pro career because they don't want to accept you as a quarterback. So that's a whole nother conversation. But to me, that's why he didn't go to the Pro Bowl. Now, Pat Mahomes said he didn't go, and it's reported that he wanted to give the young Shedeur an opportunity because he's phenomenal. That's kind of what I was thinking when we heard Lamar didn't want to go. I said, I think they were trying to let Shedeur get this opportunity. So shout out to Pat Mahomes for that. His father's in the news. So it's kind of good he didn't go because then they would have been talking about his father at the Pro Bowl. So his father got arrested. He sounded like he just can't kind of be stable. And I just hate that, for Pat Mahomes. Because, when you grow up with a parent that's in and out, like that, it just can be embarrassing. So I just hope everything's okay, with Pat Mahomes for having to deal with that. But I kind of had a feeling that it was the other guys were kind of letting Shedeur get up there because they saw how he was being treated. Now, at the Pro Bowl, I peeped Dak Prescott's interaction with Shedeur, right? And why did I like Dak Prescott's interaction? Because I I look at people and their philosophies on this situation, right? Dak Prescott said when he was asked about Shedeur sliding in the draft, he said, "What? It's a machine." He said it's a machine. And I knew what he meant, right? He was just basically saying it's just like a lawnmower pushing across the grass by itself, and you can't do nothing about it. You just get cut like a blade of grass. You just don't get cut down like everybody else. It's not any going to be any different because of who your father is. It's not going to be any different because of where you went drafted. For whatever reason, the machine don't like black grass. So you just gonna get cut, like a blade of grass. So shout out to Dak Prescott for being honest and just, as honest as he could be, as QB1 for the Dallas Cowboys and just admitting that it's a machine. So when I saw him playing around, with Shedeur Sanders, being joking welcoming and comforting, I like that. Because, I'm taking sides here. Jamar Chase, hell no. Just get the hell on. No. Dak Prescott, in. Justin Fields, in. Pat Mahomes, in. Michael Vick, in. Jerry Jeudy, no. So you understand what I'm saying? I'm taking sides here. And why do you need to take sides? Because now you're starting to see what? You're starting to see who's who. You saw Jerry Jeudy fail Shedeur. You saw Chase. People called it out. People said Chase Daniels practically single-handedly lost this game for his division. I said it wasn't no practically. That's just exactly what he did. Now, early on, it was like looking like it was against Shedeur. But then after the half, it's like he came back and was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to drop some passes from other people because they're gonna see me, yada, yada, yada. He single-handedly lost the game for the AFC. Now, Sutton admitted that interception on Shedeur was him giving up on his route. I'm like, well, you didn't need to tell us that because we saw it. But I mean, the fact that you admitting what we saw. So he go over here. He with the Jerry Jeudy's, he's with the Chase. Why is it that the passes that they created interceptions for Shedeur, they didn't create interceptions for anybody else, right? Did they create interceptions for anybody else? Did Chase create interceptions for anybody else? So you're starting to see who the enemy is, right? You already know who the enemy is overall. And so does Shedeur Sanders. So does Lamar Jackson. And so does Michael Penix Jr. Because if y'all didn't hear about Michael Penix Jr. today, shout out to Michael Penix Jr. And you know what I said? We're going to talk about that. I said, you know what? The Ravens, the Browns, and the Falcons, all derailing their own QB1s, right? Shout out to Michael Penix Jr. for seeing it and calling it the turtle race, which means, oh, I know I ain't going nowhere fast, but I'm not finna run off because you want me to run off. See, that is the attitude these quarterbacks need to have. Like Shedeur, how he was talking about Monken, they were trying to get him on the record to see what he was going to say because Monken was like, well, Shedeur is to be determined. I told y'all he was a bum. I told y'all he was a snake. I told y'all he was a buster. I told you. And now Matt Ryan coming out saying what? Yeah, we can't commit to Michael Penix Jr. being a starter. I told y'all that was the goal. Every one of these coaches that had a black quarterback that got fired, it was like 6 or 7 of them, gonna come in with the black quarterback is not to be determined. So I said, oh, okay. I said, so the black quarterbacks have to prove themselves. I said, but Bo Nix don't have to prove nothing. Tyler Shaw don't have to prove nothing. Jackson Dart don't have to prove nothing. But the most disgusting part are the Jerry Jeudy's and the Chase Daniels. No, not Chase Daniels, but him too. But no, Jamar Chase and Sutton. People who intentionally are failing the black quarterback at a time where the black quarterback is being derailed by their own team. See, I can't get with that because you know it. You know what's happening. They know what's happening. You know what's happening. The fans know what's happening, but you causing interceptions for Shedeur, right? You going to slow down running on your route for Caleb. That's what was happening at the Pro Bowl. All these people were doing is auditioning. Jamar Chase just letting them know, yeah, y'all can use me. But is he going to do that to Joe Burrows? Only if he get busted and he needs to make it look like it's even. But did he do it initially? No. Just right out the gate, setting up Shedeur in the Pro Bowl. But Shedeur walked away from the Pro Bowl having fun. I don't know if y'all saw, but Nico Collins, one of the guys that made, I think that was Shedeur's first touchdown. Shedeur was doing the flex with Nico's watch. So Shedeur took Nico's hand and put it up in the air and held up his watch. so he could do the Shedeur because he didn't have on his watch. So Shedeur didn't have on a watch, but apparently Nico did. And he put it up in the air. And I said, you know what? Have fun. This is what you have to do. And people keep calling it adversity. It is not adversity for Ty Munkin to come in with that yah bull crap that I told y'all he was going to be talking about, saying, yeah, we build it from the ground up. I don't know about Shedeur. Let me just say this. I don't give a damn, again, if the Browns do not want Shedeur to be their QB1. I have said it, they did. They didn't want Deshaun to be it. They didn't want any of the black quarterbacks to be it. But what you don't get to do is say he's not a franchise QB. Just go on the record and say, yeah, we know you a franchise QB, but we don't want you at one. And we don't want you to be that. Admit that he is that. But what do I like about Shedeur? You know what Shedeur said? I've proven I can dominate in this league. In other words, to hell with y'all. I've proven that I can dominate in this league. He said that at the Pro Bowl. He's already proven to himself and everybody else that he can dominate. That's on the Browns if they don't want the quarterback of the future that they have, that they want to go fishing for one. Cool, do it. Because, I mean, Sunday just going to be the Petal Bowl anyway. Who the hell wants to be associated with that? I mean, at this point, you can clearly see who the crabs in the barrel are. You can clearly see what the agenda is from the people above, and you know who's in the Epstein files. Why do you want to be associated with that anyway? So the last thing that Justin Fields needs to do is let these people make a mockery of his career by, in free agency, they pushing him out at quarterback, and he holding on like, I want to come back as a running back just to be associated with y'all. Associated with who? The people that's on the teams that's in the Epstein files? The receivers that's black, that's stopping their run, that's slowing down on their routes so you can fail? What the hell are you holding on to? Move along with your self-worth, right? But see, that's why they don't like Shedeur, because he's not cowering. He's not begging for nothing. You know what Shedeur did? He put out his message of gratitude. He put out a message of gratitude that basically said, I had fun. I hope to connect with y'all, stay connected. In other words, I hope to stay connected, but hell, I don't know. What did Shedeur say after he played the Titans when he was talking to Cam? And Cam was like, yeah, we need to get together and do this. And Shedeur said, hey, I got to see, because, you know, we on different pages. We on different pages, right? Like, you know, you going back. Well, so that's what he think at QB1. But I don't know. I'm going to have to see. That's why we like Shedeur, because he's letting you know in his conversation when he's talking to others or in interviews, yeah, they're not sure about me, so I don't know. He not crying about it. He don't have an attitude about it. He just making the best of the opportunities that come his way. Like he told those reporters, I take this day by day. See, they hate that. See, they want him to be like Justin Fields, and I'm not bashing Justin Fields, but Justin Fields gonna need to get it together. I'm not bashing Justin Fields, but they do want him to be like that. They want him to take table scraps. They want him to walk away from the elite black QB1 that he is, because they don't want no elite black QB1s and want to, I don't know, be a tight end or something like that, because that's what's happening. First is Justin Fields. You got the kid who was a 5-star. They got this kid who was a 5-star QB at Oregon, because Oregon didn't want him to be QB, not because he wasn't good enough, because they didn't want him to be QB. So he playing tight end at Tulane. At what point? At what point do you have some self-worth and admit that these people don't want y'all to be quarterbacks because y'all black, that these people like the way Jim Crow look and feel, and that's what they want to do. And you're not going to go with it. You're not going to get in where you fit in. You're going to stand up on who you are. That's why people like Shedeur, because he's like, I've proven I can dominate this league. And they can finish the rest of the goddamn sentence. And that's how I feel about the Browns. Oh, no, you have your QB1. You don't want the QB1 you have. And that's between you and your little fan base. Because it don't change that Shedeur is QB1. That's between them and the people that use their money to support this league that clearly has a problem with black quarterbacks and little children. So I don't know what the hell you're holding on to. So shout out to Shedeur Sanders for putting out a message of gratitude and thanking God for giving him the opportunity. Shout out to the Pat Mahomes, the Lamar Jacksons, the other people who stepped aside so Shedeur can get there. I mean, they being retaliated against anyway. So you damn if you do, you're damned if you don't. Let Shedeur get in there. And then they turned it into the Shedeur Bowl. Hey, that's the one I'm watching, because I'm out on the other one. And everybody else need to go find something else to do unless you're comfortable with supporting people who somehow seems to have all the time in the world to traffic children. You know what it is. And to see that Abercrombie and Fitch logo, knowing what happened with Abercrombie and Fitch, with the CEO being arrested for what? For what? The same thing. It's like it's organized, if you understand what I'm saying. And that's nothing you want to be clamoring to be a part of. That's nothing you want to break your skill set down and be a running back for. People like that, rejection is protection. They don't want you in free agency. Hell, they don't want none of these black quarterbacks. Rejection is protection. Go start your own. So we get ready to take a listen to a clip that I thought was hilarious, that I absolutely love. We all knew it. We all were thinking it. And in my opinion, Shedeur said it. This is why we love Shedeur. He is not afraid to be honest about a situation. He is not afraid to make light of the situation. What you gonna do about it? Kick him out? Cool, because you're gonna give him the opportunity to go do something else. You don't even want to kick him out. You want him to accept second fiddle. It's on the NFL website. Oh, people would be happy to have the security as a backup. They just love the Jim Crowism. That's all they want. It's for these black quarterbacks to believe that they're not him when they are. When they are. So let's take a listen to Shedeur, because I totally loved it. Y'all all was thinking it. So let's just listen to Shedeur say it.
Plans be changing. When you thought you were gonna get 100, you get 50. Plans be changing. You think you're about to get 40 million. Plans be changing. When you thought you were gonna get 100, you get 50. Plans be changing. You think you're about to get 40 million.
You heard that? You see that what I'm talking about? Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. So y'all know the winner of the game last night. The winners were supposed to get 100,000, but they end up getting half of that, right? And Shedeur took it to the next level and finally spoke on something that we ourselves have been talking about, but we never heard him publicly address. And Shedeur said, and Shilo said, plans be changing when you were supposed to you thought you was gonna get 100,000, but you end up with 50,000. And Shedeur said, plans be changing when you think you finna get 40 mil, but I was like, yes. He finally addresses it out loud. We've been saying it. They robbed that kid, right? And he said it. And did you see the look on his face after he said it? He just rolled his eyes, bro. Shedeur getting sick and tired of these people. Look at what he said yesterday at the game. He and Shilo were on the side, and he was like, look, that ain't on me. Talking about the interceptions, like these fluke interceptions, right? So he's starting to, whether it's in interviews, he go through the interviews and say what needs to be said. And he's not covering his interviews. He's just not letting them bait him in. But when he gets on his personal time, he letting it be known. Hell, plans change when you thought you were supposed to get 40 mil. See, Cleveland dirty. See, Cleveland is dirty. Cleveland trying to prove Shedeur's not him to justify the lie that they told in the draft, that his skill set was outdated, that he was a retro style pocket passer, that his skill set, he cost too much money for the first round. And that's the lie. That's why they don't want him to ball out. That's why you ain't gonna never see Deshaun Watson. We took a big swing and missed with Deshaun Watson. So you just lying on black quarterback after black quarterback. And you told one lie, so you got to tell another one. So you got to hide Deshaun Watson. You have to bury Shedeur Sanders, and you got to discard them and go get somebody else because you lied. And you think we don't know you lied. We been knew that they robbed Shedeur of $40 million. We talked about that. It's a refreshing to hear Shedeur talk about it. Shedeur, like, do what you're going to do. Do what you're going to do, right? Don't be contrary to these people. And I feel sorry for Justin Fields. If anything, he needs to leave in free agency and come back and sue the damn Chicago Bears. That's what he needs to do for workplace negligence. It's not okay for these black quarterbacks to be sacked 55 times, 72 times, 60 times. Your job was to scout people in the draft to protect your quarterback, but you don't protect the black quarterback, and the black quarterback is the only one that's coming into 2026 that has to prove it. Really? You don't see Shedeur proving nothing. What does Shedeur say? I already proved I could dominate the league. So they were asking him, so what do you think about what Monken said about you to be determined? He said that's to be expected. He said that's just, and it is to be expected. We don't know why it's to be expected. He don't need to elaborate why. It is to be expected. What else you gonna say? And Julian Lewis knew Ty Monken, and he young, and he was like, hold on tight, cuz like, saying Shedeur, Ty Monken is the truth. He wouldn't lie to you, this, that, and the other. I'm like, Julian, I don't think you know what's going on, boo. I don't think you know the game. See, people want to say, oh, well, yeah, Shedeur has to prove it. I don't see Tyler Shaw proving it. I don't see Jackson Dart proving it. I'm like, all y'all are accepted is Jim Crow. The fact that Shedeur and Cam and Lamar have to prove it and their lives have to be harder to be QB1, but Dylan didn't have to earn it, right? Tyler Shaw didn't have to earn it. Jackson Dart didn't have to earn it, but it's okay for them to take a black quarterback space and him be robbed of $40 million. And y'all just okay with it. I told y'all, I said it was going to be 7 years. I said it was going to be what did I say? 7 years from now, people are going to be what? If people are going to look at a black person associated with this league, the NFL, and go, you still associated with the NFL? Like, are you crazy? Like, do you not know your worth? Do you not know how these people feel about you? It's not even 7 years. We just finished year 1. This is the beginning on the cusp of year 2, and it's already like that because of the Epstein files. It's already like that because of how they cheated Lamar. It's already like that because of what's going on with Justin Fields. It's already like that because of the way Stefanski was allowed to abuse Shedeur, and all the owner did was go out and hire Stefanski 2.0. It's already like that because Matt Ryan coming out saying, I can't say that we can commit to Michael Penix Jr. Did the owner just not come out and say Michael Penix Jr. is QB1, and then they turn around and hire Stefanski? And every Browns fan that is the Shedeur Sanders fan told the Atlanta Falcons this was going to happen. And here it is. And it's not going to stop there. Wait till it gets to Cam. They got Cam on the record saying, oh, I know Davao, the guy that lied on Shedeur, the famed Shedeur, I know he's going to be tough on me when I need him to. That ain't all he gonna do, but okay. At what point do you just, like Shedeur, just be honest? And here's the thing. Try some accountability for once. And that's what's lacking. There was a guy making fun of Michael Penix Jr. after Matt Ryan came out and said that we can't commit to Michael Penix. I can't commit to Michael Penix Jr. being the QB1, right? And the guy said, Michael Penix Jr. put out this long statement. And for the most of it, he said, okay, year 2 for the turtle race. Mind you, if this is Shedeur Sanders year 2 and Michael Penix Jr. came out before Shedeur, this is year 3. You know why he calling it year 2? Because they cheated him in year 1 and made him ride the pine. So this should be year 2 as QB1. He refers to it as the turtle race. He said, I'm not worried about anything. I have never run from pressure, and I never have, and I'm not about to run from pressure. He said, all I need is an opportunity. So people thought that he was asking for something. He wasn't asking for nothing. Michael Penix Jr. referenced God in that statement multiple times. We talked about Michael Penix Jr. and his affinity for God. And we talked about how they don't like that. Those are the people they try to move out the way first. Right? We talked about that. Michael Penix Jr. wasn't asking for an opportunity. He said, all I need is an opportunity. Welcome to the turtle race, year 2. If he's saying that he's moving slow like a turtle and people talking about you got to be patient, what he's saying is, I don't have no expectations. If you want to move me out the way, move me out the way. But I'm going to be right here because I got a contract. Yeah, and you owe me money until you find a reason to not pay me. And then we're going to be in a court of law talking about it. Michael Penix Jr. not asking the Falcons for shit. He's saying, if God given the opportunity, that's going to be good. That's what he's looking for. We talked about this with Shedeur. I said, as long as Shedeur is talking about waiting, being patient and waiting on God, that's cool. Because we're not waiting for these people to change. And Michael Penix Jr. is not waiting he better not be waiting for these people to give him an opportunity. Just like Lamar Jackson is not waiting on Baltimore Ravens to do nothing. Because all they're doing is playing musical chairs with the offensive line coach and the quarterback coach and the head coach and the OC, trying to throw him off in what is going to be his contract year. So the guys are starting to get it, right? And Shedeur, in my opinion, is leading the way. I'm not saying they listen to him. What I'm saying is Shedeur ain't backing down from the truth. He not backing down from the truth. He knows when he has these interviews, he has to not let them bait him in and put out these rubber stamp answers. And I'm fine with that. Because you're going to have to play the game if you're going to be here. But what you don't have to do is pretend you don't know your self-worth and lick boots. You don't need to do that. So the fact that Shedeur could make light of the $40 million, yeah, I know. See, they don't want him to say that. They don't want him to say that. You know how you know? Because for one, it proves why didn't he get it? It proves they lied. It proves they cheated him. It proves they robbed him. And what people better get they wrapped around their mind because they already told that one lie. They already tried to hold him back. They're going to do it again. And that's Monken's job. Monken is not there for Shedeur unless he going to stab the owner in the back. And that ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. So what you are now seeing coming into year 2 is the attack, the 17-32 attack on black quarterbacks. That only black quarterbacks, the QB1s, are having to prove themselves. What you saw ahead of the Pro Bowl was other black quarterbacks make room for Shedeur. What you also saw in the Pro Bowl is a black receiver, like you did in the season, like Jerry Jeudy, set up a black quarterback. And it's not new. It just happened to Caleb Williams. It happened to Jameis Winston in New York. That's what you're going to see in year 2. You're going to see Michael Penix Jr. with a black quarterback setting him up. You're going to see Shedeur being set up with a black wide receiver. You're going to see black wide receivers increasingly and more so setting up the 16 or 17 or however many number there is of black starting quarterbacks. You're going to see them get set up. So what you're seeing is the people that you can't see, whose idea it is to suppress 17 to 32 black quarterbacks, employ black wide receivers and or tight ends to set up these quarterbacks, to devalue them. So they too will want to move on and convert to another position or be happy with the security of a backup. Anything to make sure that the numbers of black QB1s is diminished. That's what we're going into year 2. That's the turtle race. Michael Penix Jr. ain't asking for nothing. Shedeur didn't ask for nothing. Didn't they draft Michael Penix Jr.? Didn't they draft Shedeur? Didn't they draft Lamar? All right, then. So you need to do right by them. And if you don't, they get to talk about it. If they want to make light of it, that's on them. But to sit up and just only to cry in your closet and shift over to running back, hell no. You better go find something else to do. This is why people love Shedeur. Did y'all hear how Shilo laughed? Because he didn't expect Shedeur to say it. This is why people love Shedeur Sanders. Because he's not going to just sit there and let you kick on him and come hug you at the end of the day and say things like, oh, it wasn't all Kevin Stefanski's fault. Yes, it was. He chose to be the one to execute the punishment against Shedeur. So yes, it's him. And now it's Monken's turn. But see, this is my thing about Monken. See, Monken think he's slick, right? Because he hide behind Andrew Berry. And see, Andrew Berry is an idiot. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he keeps running out here being the voice of melanin that's taking credit for shit he didn't do. He didn't draft Shedeur. In fact, he tried to steer Shedeur elsewhere. So coming down to the field and taking credit for what Shedeur did is insane when he set up on day 3 and devalued Shedeur. He think he's slick too. That's all that's going to be left in this league. Because the rest of them, if they don't have sense enough to get up and walk out, they're going to get pushed out. Because they already pushing them out. And they pushing you out anytime when you get to free agency as a quarterback, you're talking about coming back as a wide receiver. So all they do, I can hear them laughing at you right now. They don't even value running back. So I don't even know why you think that would work for you. They love people that don't have self-worth, that's willing to just stay there and get kicked on and not say nothing. And they wanted to kick Shedeur so much that he would be like Justin Fields and saying things like, well, if I can't be a quarterback, then I want to be a running back. No. So I'm happy to hear Shedeur make light of the fact that they robbed him of $40 million because they're going to need to fix that. So everybody had a good time. This was a video with Snow. No. I wanted people to see this. DeAndrea said that she is in trouble because he was like in the cheerleaders. Look at him, how comfortable he is. Like he owned the field. Just like he right here. This is his little part. Look at this. She said he a ladies' man. I'm like, I see. So I think it was huge for the Sanders family, for all of them to be there, for Snow to get his shine, for Shilo to get his shine. Look at him. He's just gonna sit there in front of them and get back up. I think he know he famous. I ain't really sure, but I think he might. But he a kid. He just enjoying himself. And I absolutely love this part right here. You ain't gonna be able to tell this kid nothing. You're not going to be able to tell this kid nothing at all. He was unfazed when they put him down. He wasn't wobbling. He wasn't crying. He was just unfazed. And that's definitely Shedeur's personality, unfazed. They don't get fazed by much. So shout out to Big Snow for having his moment at his first Pro Bowl. I don't know if it'll be the first of many or not, but it's Shedeur Sanders that people walked away impressed with, right? Why? Because people noticed how much hate he was getting. And there was a lady who was saying she interviewed Coach Prime when Shedeur was 2. And just like he smiled, like you just saw Shilo, right? Just like you saw Snow and how young Snow was. Shedeur was just a little bit older. She said he was 2 years old and he was peeking through Coach Prime's leg. You know how kids hold on to their parents' leg? He was peeking at her. And she said, the haters are out in full force. She said, and it's amazing to see this young man grow up to be so confident. And people are steadily hating on him. She said, but he's unfazed. And totally is. And I'm not going to tell y'all that Shedeur probably not going to wake up one day and for whatever reason, he not playing. And he just feel like, people are asking him how he feel about not playing. And he said, well, I mean, you can imagine how I feel, when I'm not playing. But we don't know why he ain't gonna be playing. We don't know if he gonna step away. Somebody gonna have to do it for themselves, right? We already saw Justin Fields say he want to be a running back instead of a quarterback. I don't think Lamar gonna ever say nothing like that. And then we got Michael Penix Jr. calling it a turtle race, but we got Shedeur making light of the situation of being robbed $40 million, not being afraid to talk about it. That's the attitude you have to have if you're gonna make it. That's what you have to have. That's why people love Shedeur. Because he's not fazed. He's not bothered by the haters. And to be honest with you, the hate is mostly coming from online. Somebody said to me earlier, X is the platform that people aren't truly realistic. I totally agree. That's why you have to go on X and have your conversations and move around. You can't stay over there. That can't be your only platform. Because it ain't gonna work out. It's just not gonna work out unless you just out there putting out information. But when you start engaging with people, the trolls will come. And that's where the hatred was coming from, the media online. And Shedeur was unfazed by it. So let's keep looking. I have some more clips to look at. Like I said, I was happy to see Shedeur celebrating the touchdown win he had. He didn't have on the watch. So he got Nico Collins to put his watch up in the air. And his statement of gratitude, I thought was really good. I like the way it ended. He said, I hope I can stay connected. In other words, he not begging for nothing. I hope I can stay connected. He don't know if he going to be there or not, right? He don't know if he going to be there or not. Now, this was them hanging out at night. So check this one out. I like this one too. So I thought this shows that they're not afraid to hang around people that are different from themselves.
Thought you was gonna get 100, you get 50. Plan be saying you think you're about to get 40 million. Hey, look, then we gonna do. Yeah. All right, if you sign it this time, right? Yeah.
I'm gonna give you 100.
Okay.
But if you don't sign it, when I come to Cleveland, because I live in Cleveland. I come to the locker room now. Watch it.
I got that much
free ticket. You give me free ticket.
I give you free ticket.
Free ticket. If for a free ticket. Keep your eye on it now. Look, you gotta keep your eye on it now. The coach said keep your eye on it.
I know where
watch
it is.
it. Quarterback sneak here.
I know what's
here.
on here too.
Here. Watch it.
He's nervous. He's nervous. I know what's on there.
Oh, he turned it around.
Turn over.
No.
Which one? This one? No, you're the lowest. Turn over.
No!
Get that free ticket.
Hold on. I'm gonna get you the ticket. I'm gonna get you the ticket. Oh yeah, he got you. That's on me. I got you. What's your name?
When you come down to Jackson, man?
Top.
White
Too
boy.
shallow. When you
Time.
come
When you come back to
Hey man, when you gonna come back to the house?
Just pull up here.
Bro, in the night, boom, man.
You and Mustafa gonna fucking race it, bro.
I get that boy started.
So this was them afterwards. There's like a longer video where they're out and about, and they were talking to like the different people that work there. They was taking pictures, they were interviewing people, or people were interviewing them. Then they ran into this guy that was playing. Is that 3-card Monty? I thought it was 3-card Monty, but I ain't see no cards. But anyway, it's the Hustlers game. Like downtown Atlanta, it was a guy standing right by the Westin, and he was trying to get people to do that. And I'm from New Orleans. No, I'm just keep it pushing. Have a good day, sir, and keep it pushing. So they stopped and they, entertained, and you see the people standing around. Miss Pilar in the background. People pointed out how everywhere they went, how attentive Shilo is, and how he's like the protector of the group. Maybe because he's the older brother. I don't know. And I don't know if Bucky was out there. I don't even know who was filming this. It might have been Bucky or maybe somebody in his crew. But if you notice, it was just a lot of people gathered around. And, Shedeur wasn't worried. I mean, he'd have his jewelry on, which you should not, right? So he know how to move, right? And that's why people like Shedeur, right? He friends with Junior that he went to high school with. He's not the kind of person that just move on and turn his back. He's not going to sit up and cower to these people because they kicked him. He don't mind saying out loud, Shilo making a joke about 100,000 and he slides in the 40 million to let you know he didn't appreciate that. Like, to let you know that wasn't right. Like he was supposed to be paid $40 million, right? So I like it. And this is why people like Shedeur. And yes, the hate is online. And they are truly relatable people. And they're not afraid of people just because they grew up wealthy. Coach Prime taking them to another part of town to play ball so they can have that dog in them, it worked. It's exactly what it is. Shedeur has that dog in him, right? The whole time he was in Cleveland, and Kevin Stefanski was dehumanizing Shedeur, right? He never quit, right? He found a way to exist because he knew that they wanted to push him off of his path. They wanted him to cry and go home and quit. They wanted him to pout because he's Coach Prime's son. They wanted him to feel some type of way. And he pushed through that. And I'm telling you, a lot of people, twice Shedeur's age, would have never survived that. Like that was something that he needed God to get through, which is why God came before Shedeur got to the league, because he wasn't going to survive that. You see, Shilo got baited in. You saw Judy try to bait in Shedeur. I got news for you. If you think next year not going to have some of the same elements, you don't understand these demons that they dealing with. At some point, just like these kids went back to college, so they don't have to deal with this. Somebody, like y'all heard me say, who's on the ground, a veteran, a black quarterback, gonna have to be like, you know what? I value myself too much to be treated this way. Somebody gonna have to do it. Because what you are trying to outlast could take a long time. Remember, black people were slaves for 400 years. So it don't change overnight. And it took a war for it to change. And look at the journey from 1865 to 2026. And the fact that they trying to Jim Crow the league itself with the quarterback position, the head coaches, the offensive coordinators, the GMs. And now you have Black men who are associated with the league, used to play for the league, helping by setting up the Black quarterback. Keyshawn Johnson, who I actually liked until today, thought it was a good idea to pick this time to break down Shedeur Sanders and do some type of review on him for the season. I said, I'll tell you what, let me see you post a breakdown like you did about Shedeur for any white quarterback out here. See, that's what they don't do. See, they joining in by tearing down Shedeur, by saying, well, I'm being fair in reviewing him, but you won't dare review Jackson Dart. You won't dare review Tyler Shaw. You won't dare review Josh Allen. You won't dare review Bo Nix. But you have all the smoke for Shedeur, and you Black. That's what this league is going to be left with. Pedos, Stefanskis, and Judys. That's it. That's it. People, you can't see it yet. Keep paying attention. I said 7 years. We just on the cusp of year 2, and the Pedo Bowl is Sunday. How many people have you heard talking about it? But they talking about everything else. I even heard one Black man say, so y'all threw Jay-Z and Pusha T out in front of this. And then he started talking about the NFL team owners. He talked about 4 of them. They're 9. Anybody seen Peyton Manning yet? I even heard Geno Smith's name come up in a very weird way. Peyton Manning, back with milk carton. That's Jim Crow too. Even when it comes to pedos. It's sick, bro. And I said it's going to get infinitely worse before it get better. It's going to get worse before it get better. So I'm going to see what y'all saying. But Shedeur had fun at the bowl. I'm happy for him. Had fun afterwards. Wasn't deterred. Made light of the situation. Shilo got a chance to be there. Shilo is now well respected in the content streamer circle, which is really good. He got interviewed by GQ Sports about his own situation, and he talked about how proud he was of Shedeur. So he not shying away from the situation. That's what they want. They wanted to uphold the Mannings and shun the Sanders from the football world. So guess what? You can't do that on the streamer side. You don't control that space. You don't control what the fans want to see. If the fans want to still take pictures with Shiloh's because he used to play football, they don't care that he don't play for you no more. He's still a legend. He still was the hardest hitting safety in college football. If that's where it stops, that's where it stops. Let's not act like what's after that is the holy grail, because it's not. If it were, you wouldn't have all these college kids going back to school. You wouldn't have Justin Fields talking about switching off to a running back. They wouldn't be playing musical chairs with all of the coaches for Lamar Jackson. And then Monkey wouldn't be out here sounding like Stefanski, non-committal. Just because the Browns do not want to commit to Shedeur, do not want Shedeur to be their quarterback, that's on them for their poor decision-making, which is not new. Just because you don't want somebody who's a franchise quarterback does not mean his skill set is not. See, that's where the Browns messed up. See, the Browns on the record lying about Shedeur, and they still running from that line. And you notice they can't find it in them to trade Shedeur. They won't even talk about trading Shedeur, so they want to be ignorant and keep him over there and make him run. Okay. I mean, if that's what you want to do, all you're going to do is get exposed again. See, they think they control everything. And everything that's coming out about the Epstein files proves you do not. I didn't even know that the guy that was over Microsoft, Bill Gates, I didn't even know he was into that. I didn't know when he got a divorce, that's why he got a divorce. Because he wouldn't stop going to Epstein's, and he passed something along to his wife. And today, Microsoft lost $400 billion or $1 billion in market share because of the Epstein files. How many owners is it? And 2 of them going to the Pedo Bowl Sunday? And where is Peyton Manning? But they threw the Black people out front. Isn't that what they did with the little gambling scandal? And I said, how is it The NBA got a scandal, but the NFL don't. And here we are. It's worse than any gambling scandal out there. This involves trafficking children. And the little girl, John Bonet, apparently, Epstein is got something to do with her situation. And all of those pageants were the tunnel to funnel these people in and out. We had no idea all of this was going on. And foreign countries are now holding the Musks and all the other people accountable and doing the arrests because the U.S. won't do it. So now you got France and Lithuania and other countries ready to indict folks and do investigations. Because over here, they're not talking about the people with NFL. They don't want to talk about the other people that are involved. Consequences are starting to be exacted. Bill Gates is experiencing it. Beyonce's, they all over her page, you know. But what's coming up Sunday, and you don't hear nobody talking about how you could be associated with that. And I, for the life of me, would love to understand how the hell it is that Disney is associated with NFL. How Abercrombie and Fitch is on the wall at the Pro Bowl. What are we doing? Finding another way to do what they were already doing. Disney, really? Disney? The platform that's dedicated to children's movies and media associated with owns the NFL media with Abercrombie and Fitch on the wall. Really? People better pay attention, especially people with these little kids. Y'all better be real picky about what your kids watch, because if not, they're going to be out there like the Roblox lawsuit out there, because that's crazy too. So what do these people really, and I mean Black quarterbacks, want to be associated with? Rejection is protection. Because as you can see, they're going to throw you under the bus first, whether you did it or not. And they're going to somehow get you involved in it, and you ain't going to even know. Just like Shedeur didn't know he was standing in front of an Abercrombie and Fitch logo. I'm willing to believe he don't even know what that is in terms of, wow, really? And streaming on Disney. Sick world here. It's a lot of sick stuff happening out here. So on Sunday, I will not be involved and nothing to do with that. It said the Fly Show on the Planet. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe. Remember to bet on Nola Girl, not the horse. I know that's right. Grand evening, grand evening, grand evening. It said I had watched in the Pro Bowl with the chat family. Nola Queen, you did your thing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hey Nola Girl. Hey Anna, how you doing? How you doing? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hit the like button. Good evening. Good evening. How were the ratings? I haven't heard yet. But I know they were good because everybody was talking about it. It might take, let me see if they out. It might take a day or two. Because it was streamed rather than just on regular broadcast. And I thought the Pro Bowl was great. I really had fun watching it. Even especially after Jamar Chase. Let's see. The 2026 Pro Bowl games continue the trend of declining viewership, with figures expected to fall below 4.7 million views recorded for the 2025 game. So this is a prediction of doom. The event, which featured a flag football format, was held on a reduced field size in a convention center rather than a stadium with reduced attendance. Let's see. I don't think it's out yet, but the number we're looking for is 4.7 million. So it says in 2022, it was 6.7 million. In 2025, it was 4.7 million. So now y'all know why they came and got Shedeur. So let's see. We'll see what the numbers were. Because Colorado had pretty good numbers when Shedeur was there. And the Browns, I know they benefited from viewership because of Shedeur. So we'll just see when the numbers come out yet. The number we're looking for to beat is 4.7 million. Thank you so much. It said, it's such a blessed and awesome experience, 512. Yep, it sure is. It said, hey, everybody. It said, love your commitment, and Queen. It said, hope you're enjoying your vacation. I am. Thank you so much, Mel. I appreciate it. It said it was definitely a family affair for the Sanders family. Yep, I totally agree. Shilo is a real one. He is. People notice. They're like, man, Shilo is really attentive, like, with Shedeur, making sure everything's good. And, I'm like, yeah, he's like a protector. That's why I said Shilo could actually be Shedeur's agent. Like, if he wanted to, he could become certified to do it because he clearly understands the business and not to mention these people. But if I'm not mistaken, I think at some point, once Archman's father, that used to play ball, I forgot his name, Cooper, once he got injured, I think he actually did become some type of management for them. And then he moved on to like the energy industry, oil and gas energy. And then he still had a podcast and everything. So they kept him in the media circle once he got injured from college. But Shilo could do the same thing, right? I think people love and realize that Shilo was a natural when it comes to the camera, to the interviewing, the streaming. He's really good at that. And like I said, he's just shy. He's like 2,000. Is it 2,000 subs shy? He might be 2,000 subs shy of 300,000. So he gonna get there. He gonna get there. And I don't even know if he put any of the Pro Bowl content on his YouTube yet. But his stream is buzzing. His YouTube, his Twitch is buzzing though. I watched Shilo on Twitch last night until it ended. And you watched him on today. Okay, so you did watch the one from today. It said they have Streamer Bowl at Complex too. Yeah, and Shilo did really well. He did really, really well. Yeah. Amber said, what in the world? Change the position. Yep, Justin Fields. He said, because see, what it is when these guys like CJ Stroud, Justin Fields, Lamar, all of them are nearing the end. It's time for them to have conversations about the future. And the current climate in the NFL is anti-blackness against black quarterbacks. And I don't know why people keep dancing around it because their behavior points to it, right? And they just like people got upset that there were no black coaches. Well, why are you not upset that they're pushing out black quarterbacks? If you realize that they're pushing out black coaches, they already pushed out black offensive coordinators. They already pushing out black quarterbacks. They only fired black GMs. So talk about all of it and just call it what it is, a sentiment of anti-blackness. But rather than do that, you get a Ryan Clark who's talking about, well, I don't think it's so much as race as it is nepotism. I said, Ryan Clark, I said, being a sellout is not going to help you. I said, first of all, there are corporations that allow nepotism, and they don't have a problem with retaining black elite talent just because they allow nepotism. Like, you act like it's one or the other. The both can exist together. You don't have to be racist because you allow nepotism. It's not nepotism. They're hiring everybody to replace black people, and they don't care who it is. It's not nepotism. Who the hell is Stefanski related to? No one. But you see how he jockeying for Stephen A 2.0? He gonna end up just like Stephen A. He gonna end up just like Stephen A. And that's what I mean by the enemy of these black quarterbacks look just like them. Yep. Covering for the racism as if you don't understand that nepotism and racism. You don't even show me who related to who. Nobody's related. Stefanski's not, his daddy was in the NBA. There's no nepotism there. They like him because he's willing to derail black quarterbacks. That's why they like Munkin. That's why the owner hired Munkin to pick up where Stefanski left off without the abuse because he ain't stupid. And he don't even want to be that way. And that's why Stefanski got paid so much money. And that's why I said Michael Penix Jr. better know he being threatened. And what's happening today? Matt Ryan. Yeah, I don't know if I can commit to Michael Penix Jr. They're going to do this to every black quarterback out here. Every last one that has a coach that was just hired in this cycle. Because that's why the other coach was fired. To bring in somebody new so they can stand on the excuse that Munkin is. Yeah, well, we built it from the ground up. I don't know. I told you that's what they was going to do. And for the people who were trying to say Stefanski this, I'm like, the fact that you could even try to justify Stefanski having a job and not being in jail is insane to me. But then look at what they're trying to justify now. And it's worse than that. So what you holding on to? I'm waiting on somebody to know their worth. It said if 12 was there, he was meant to be there. Yeah, I think so too. It said Jalen Hurts, Flacco, Dax were interacting with Shedeur. Yep. And you know what? What did we say? I want all of these guys to be talking to each other. That is straight face. I want all of these guys to talk to each other because they all in the same situation. I was actually surprised that Jalen Hurts decided to do the Pro Bowl because he got cheated. He knew. And people are finally talking about it. They're like, okay, so you got Jamar Chase selling out. You got the Moore guy in Chicago. Oh, and that's another thing. He want to go to Chicago after free agency, at his free agency, and be a running back. So you want to go back to the very team you should be suing. You see what I'm saying? They beat him so badly that he don't even know what the hell he's talking about. I'm like, where are your parents? Where are your people that care about you? You want to go back to Chicago, the very people you should be suing for workplace negligence, which is why you in the situation you in anyway, because they use all of those sacks to derail his QBR, like they try to do Shedeur, and use that to say, well, you're no QB1. They run the same play on everybody. It's like being lost at the Greyhound station and some dude roll up to you in a pimped out caddy and ask you, do you want something to eat? And you have absolutely no idea where this is going. That's what they work towards, being so damaged up here that you're willing to hold on to the people that abused you. That's insane. That's why I keep telling y'all, the longer Shedeur is around this, that's the danger. Last night he was standing in front of Abercrombie and Fitch side and didn't even know. If you don't know what happened to Abercrombie and Fitch CEO, go look it up. That shouldn't have been there. That shouldn't have been there. That shouldn't be there at all. That pokes people into, oh, it's okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. It said most of them showing love. I really appreciated Dak and Jalen Hurts too. Right. And Flacco always. It said Dak got the hardest job in the NFL. I totally agree. Because the way they treat him, bro, that's why I like that. See, Dak understands. Thank you for that reminder. Dak understands. Like when Dak said it was a machine, I knew what he was saying. But think about how Jerry Jones treat Dak. Think about how when Shedeur played Nebraska, he waited to hold up on that to see what Shedeur was going to do, right? So that game, Shedeur was set up. You could see it in his face, right? And all of that was so that when he got to the league. So see, that's how long they know who they have their eye on and who it is we want to get. They don't wait for the playoffs. They don't wait for the playoffs. When they decide they want to get you, that's what it is. Right? It's not like this is on the up and up and, oh, we're too early. No. Trevor Lawrence got his contract 2 years early. Whereas Lamar Jackson going to have to wait to the last minute and nobody wants him. How many MVPs does Trevor Lawrence have? Zero. And people going to say, well, Lamar had one of the big games. What about Josh Allen? You see how people are so willing to accept the Jim Crow? To accept the devaluing of Black quarterbacks? I ain't with that. And when they start finding out what it is, then I'm happy for them. But they got to know what it is first. And they got to find out because you could tell them and then they could be in denial. So I'm happy when they find out. That's just what it is. It said, yep, Dak has the hardest job. He absolutely does. Later for Chase. Yeah, we ain't fooling with Chase. It said Dak got some cold receivers, though. It said CD and Perkins was lighting it up. Yeah, they were doing really good together. Neither one of them was on the tape. And to me, it seemed like CD Lamb and Perkins, it seemed like the NFC, they wanted to play. Like they were just out there having fun. But when people say Jamar Chase almost, I'm like, he didn't almost single-handedly take them down. He did take them down. Sutton is only responsible for one play. I didn't notice him giving up on his routes on any other plays. But Jamar Chase, it's like he knew he was going to be the guy. So he was able to manipulate it. And today it was announced that he got a new show coming on Overtime. Yep. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. So he had a good time. And I love the way that he ended his statement. You know, that's just what it is. I was not feeling that Chase dude. Yeah, he gave you Judy vibes because that's what he was doing. I love the fact that people talked about it. And I'm convinced that when he went to the locker room and checked his phone, he saw all the people saying he was selling out. So when he came out the locker room, he was trying to spread around. He was just trying to spread it around. He a buster, bro. It's too late now. You knew you was gonna be on TV. You knew you was gonna be the guy, and you sold it out. And what did I say before the game? I said, all right, let's make sure after the last practice. I said, let's make sure that we could catch the ball now. Yep, he sold out. And he was auditioning for something. And I doubt if it was just for a show on overtime. We're gonna have to see. Shedeur trained with Sutton, right? And he said it. Sutton said it. He said, nah, I just gave up on the route. He didn't even turn around to see what the ball was. How are you supposed to get the ball if you don't turn around? And remember, I told y'all there was a particular play. I think it was that play. I think it was him or somebody else was getting ready to put their hands up, and they put their hands down like, oh, don't get it. I think that was Sutton. See? It said Jamar was given very much Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, he had straight Judas as well. It said we need to continue to call out every black wide receiver. That's that. Exactly. And that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. And most times, you know, people be like, no, you know, I don't want to sound like, because they selling out their own. And that's the worst kind of snake. That's worse than other people. You know why? Because you know better. You know what, that's why I said they know what it is. Jamar Chase knew what it was. Jerry Jeudy knew what it was. Even the dude that failed Caleb that wouldn't go into the locker room, who was guilty, he knew what it was. The dude that failed Jameis Winston, he knew what it was. But you're going to be out here catching all these passes. You caught a one-handed interception. But you let the ball slide straight through your two hands. And then he want to run around and strut. Shedeur posted pictures of some of the people from the Pro Bowl. I didn't see Jamar Chase on there, and I'm glad. You know, people want to be like, no, Jamar Chase is really good. I'm like, but his character sucks. He's a bum. He's a damn bum for selling out that game. You sold out everybody you played with. You didn't just sell out Shedeur. You sold out the entire AFC. So, well, what does that make you? This is like the equivalent of the company picnic. You gonna rig the sack races? An exhibition game? That they losing views and you out here rigging the game. Just sad. Just sad. So, yeah, they need to be called out. Sutton is a good guy, though. He just messed up. No, he didn't. He said it. Sutton said it. I stopped running on the route. That wasn't on Shedeur. He had the second interception. He said it. I stopped running on my route. People thought it was another guy, but it was Sutton. No, he actually admitted it. You could see he stopped running on his route. You could see, I think it was him that was getting ready to raise his hands. It was rigged. That's just what it was. And for some reason, they just want to put them interceptions on Shedeur. Probably because they don't want Shedeur to be balling out with other people so he can go back to Cleveland. Understand, they will never stop running from that line. That Shedeur is entitled. If Shedeur is so entitled, why y'all have him on all your media? You wouldn't put an entitled person as the face of all of your media. This is about the Cleveland Browns coming into next year. Shedeur playing with Jamar Chase and looking good. You don't have to be Superman, Jamar. Jamar Chase showed what he made of. He showed what he made of. The same thing that Jeudy made of. Sutton, too. You can't say Sutton is a good guy and he admit that he stopped running on his route. He didn't mess up. He admitted it. He stopped running on his route. He knew what he was doing. And that's what people don't want to do, right? People don't want to admit that their faves or people that they like are selling out these black quarterbacks. Well, what you think they're doing? Are they doing it to the white quarterbacks? Let me see when they do it to the white quarterbacks. The only time they're going to do that is when they get busted doing it to the black quarterbacks. This is no different than Jerry Jeudy. No different. You can't say he's a nice person and he rigging the game and all of his teammates was out there practicing, but he sold them up the river. No, that's not okay. It's that Unc and Ocho were interviewing Chase and Higgins today in California about their O-line, and they said nothing wrong with it. And finally threw Burrow under the bus, but it was off guard. Really interesting. Very interesting. Remember, 12 is certainly not thirsty. No, he's not. And Chase is mad because Shedeur beat the Bengals. Hell, Shedeur might end up over there with the Bengals, and Chase just told you what he was going to do. I just think Chase is selfish. I think just like Jerry Judy, there was an agenda, and he decided to be the one to do it. They could have asked one of them white dudes on the team. Why they didn't ask one of them? Why they didn't ask one of them white guys to do it? See, they idiots. See, they don't ask them to do that. Well, they do it first, and then when they catch hell, you know what? Let's do it this way. I told you, if they use the white guy, they gonna come back behind. And why was it in Cleveland? All people talked about was Jerry Judy. What about Canales? What about Brendan Bates? What about the dude that crushed Shedeur fingernail? They don't talk about them. Jerry, he showed us. Jamar Chase showed you what he made of. Ryan Clark showing you what he made of. Keyshawn Johnson showing you what he made of. All these people are willing to burn their legacy to the ground because that's all that's happening. That's all that's happening. I actually used to like Keyshawn Johnson, but I don't see him critiquing no white quarterbacks. Why are you critiquing Shedeur Sanders? If you want to give a fair assessment, why are you doing it at the Pro Bowl? And then they showed Tyrann Mathieu from the Saints saying Shedeur should have never been there. What the hell are you talking about? Why you want to burn up your legacy, trashing Shedeur? Talk about that raggedy quarterback over there you got named Tyler Shaw, who you probably retired because you know he trashed, but you ain't gonna say it out loud. So what I'm pointing out is the fact that they are willing to go on the record, torching their own legacies to trash a black quarterback that there clearly is an agenda against. 17-32. But they don't have nothing to say about the white quarterbacks. And these are black guys. This ain't right, bro. So you trashing your legacy, Jamar Chase. You trashing your legacy, Sutton. You trashing your legacy, Keyshawn. You trashing your legacy, Tyrann Mathieu, but you don't have shit to say about Tyler Shaw. Didn't he play for the Saints? So that's what we need to be talking about. I dare you to do it. You see how they don't want to talk about the white quarterback? Because they want to stay in favor with they white owners and 9 of them on the damn Epstein list. Again, what are you holding on to? But you got all the smoke for Shedeur. Like I said, all that's going to be left is pedos, the Stefanskis, and the Judases. And you could throw Chase in that category. And Sutton too. Because he said it. He stopped running on his route. Why? So they want to hang the interceptions on Shedeur. That's exactly what happened to Shedeur in the season. And people talked about it. Out of the 10 interceptions he had, only 2 were his. Kid sacked 52 times. And then he only had 4 interceptions the whole year. But then he come over here and the receivers and the tight ends put interceptions on him. Namely, Jerry Judy first. That's sad. So you could please who? They gonna stab you in the back anyway. It said praying for Fields, don't compromise his talents as QB1. Me too. Me too. That's why I said I ain't making fun of him because I like him, but it's clear they done got to him. And that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like when they get to you. And how do they get to you? They don't protect you. You get sacked incessantly over and over and over. Even Fields was talking about he was in his closet crying. Okay, well, you need to go therapy, boo. And you have got to still keep yourself together. For them to hear you saying you want to go back to Chicago, you want to go to Chicago and be a running back, they don't value you like that as a human being. All they're going to do is make a mockery out of you and feel like they won because they got you to move off of who you are. That's what they can't do with Shedeur. That's what they can't do. But he's going to have to wise up and realize what's being put around him. I'm trying to figure out who called Burrow to come in. It said because I heard he decided to come into the Pro Bowl, and he did. And you know how you're right? You know how you know you're right? You're right. Because I said it. They said Flacco is playing, but we don't know who he replacing yet because Burrow wasn't playing. So it seemed like it was Shedeur. And after it was just Shedeur, then here come Flacco. And I'm like, cool. Now here come Burrow. I don't know. And then they setting up Shedeur with the interceptions in the game. So that was somebody's idea. So it could just be Shedeur, I guess. I don't know. But it seemed like it was 3 on the other side, but I don't know why it was 2 people from the Bengals. So that's a good point. It said today during the live stream today, Shilo was talking about talking to a cornerback, joking for him to get him on the team. This stated to him, it's not a lot of us left. It said, letting us know they know what's going on. There's not a lot of us left. I wonder what he meant by that. He talking about black cornerbacks. Is that what you mean? They do know what's going on. I think when Shilo was being interviewed by GQ, he was talking about how proud he was of Shedeur. And then he said about himself. He said, you never know, maybe I'll get an opportunity to get to the Hall of Fame. And he kind of like smirked and laughed it off, like, like he knows, like what you're saying, that they know what's going on. They know what's going on. The Sanders know what's going on now. I mean, they all know. I don't know when they knew it or when they got to that point. I'm sure it was after what Shedeur was going through, because Coach Prime said it, right? There was a lot happening that we don't know about, right? So I just think maybe, after the whole Pro Bowl thing, when Shedeur came over to the side and was talking about it, I mean, what I think I'm seeing from Shedeur is he's getting visibly annoyed with what's happening, visibly annoyed by being cheated out of $40 million, right? Visibly annoyed by the fluke interceptions that ain't on me, right? What's the way to prove it? Go start your own league and ball out somewhere else. Because even if you go to the sack races that the company picked, they're going to rig that too. That's the message. That's the message. It could be the company picnic, the equivalent of the company picnic, the Pro Bowl. That people. So if don't nobody care about the Pro Bowl, why rig it? Why rig it? Because who is it rigged against? Why rig it? If it don't matter, why rig it? Why even talk about it then? Because they mad because he's getting some shine, because that was the goal, that he don't get it. It's that the old days of being subservient is history. Facts. And they even talking about these younger guys coming out not wanting to be like that. And that's why they're going back to school. That means they get it too. Shedeur isn't tripping about these jealous football players, right? In the fake media. I totally agree. He's not. It's that the NFL trying to break our nephew. You're right about that, Tamika. Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders, confident, but it's not going to matter no matter how these racists and haters try it. Right. And it will get to a point where when Shedeur get, say, coming up on year 2, right? It might get to a point where it's year 2 or 3. Shedeur will get to a point in his own heart first that 1, this ain't fun. 2, they gonna keep cheating me. 3, I'm better than this. And they not gonna never be no different. And I could do this somewhere else. Let's just say if Nike wanted to start a 7-on-7, right? Notice nobody wants to do it for adults. Everybody just seem to be scared to do it. But you would think after this whole Epstein thing that people could kind of see like what's happening with Bill Gates, what's happening outside the country to the people that are involved, that somebody is going to be like, oh, this is eventually going to come this way. So let's just get on the bandwagon and start something. No, we want to see how bad it's going to get. But just like I said, these kids figured it out in college. Somebody, these vets going to figure it out. I just don't know who it's going to be. Might be Jalen Hurts. See, you can't just hide behind the love of the game anymore, because being abused for the love of the game, it don't stick. It don't stick. And they're being abused. They're just being abused. They might not be locked in the closet, but intentionally derailing their careers, inflicting emotional abuse to the point where you want to be a running back because you're crying in your closet and these people keep having you sacked and you feel like you can't give up. You at conflict with your own self because you want to go back to the people that abused you in the first place. And they love that. And what did I say when they was talking about what Justin Fields wasn't going? I'm like, you don't even like Justin Fields. So why the hell are you talking about Justin Fields not going? You don't even like Justin Fields. Understand what they have succeeded at doing to Justin Fields is what they want to do to Shedeur. The best thing Shilo could do is not want it. You see how Shedeur is always releasing it, like with his gratitude speech, like, thank you. When he does his thank you for the opportunity, I hope we can stay connected. They heard him on camera saying, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be here. That's the best thing he could do. They want him to be thirsty for it. So much so that he's willing to take whatever. That's why it's stated on the NFL website They rank Shedeur in a tier 6 of quarterbacks. There's only 2 quarterbacks in tier 6, Justin Fields and Shedeur. They want Shedeur to be Justin Fields. Just be happy with whatever. They want him to be happy with a backup. So Justin Fields thinking of switching to wide receiver. And what do you think is going to happen for you there? They got to value you as a man first. They don't do that. So you switching to a different position lets them know and lets me know that you don't know why they devaluing you. You gonna let them make a mockery of your pro career? It's better to be Shedeur Sanders and wrap it up in the Pro Bowl, be the last thing he does before he switch off to another position, or admit that I'm just willing to be a backup for 15 years because you don't want no black quarterbacks. That's why people like Shedeur. Tell the truth. That's it. Tell the truth. That's just what it is. It said, I seen today that Dollar General headed to ATL. Oh, I haven't heard that one. All I heard is that Ty Munkin was like something about all the quarterbacks in the room. I'm like, just the sound of his voice sounds like nails screeching on the board. I told y'all he was going to be like this. It's going to be an interesting offseason because what's going to start to happen is all of the coaches that were hired, where all of these black quarterbacks are going to start having the same conversations. At least every team that has a black quarterback is going to start hemming and hawing. That's what I'm going to refer it to as Munkin, hemming and hawing. The Ravens, same thing. I told y'all the Ravens head coach was doing this too much. All the touchy-feely, all of the talking, all of the niceties. When the 32 owners that got together and said what it's going to be and hired people who are willing to execute it. None of these coaches have free will when it comes to their job. None of them. There is an agenda. You have been hired, including Stefanski, including Munkin, to execute that agenda. And the agenda is anti-blackness and anti-17. It's not 17 to 32. You will eventually start to hear all of the teams have the same type of conversation. Well, I don't know about this person. So we already have the Ravens was trying to send Lamar to the Vegas Raiders and blew up everything over there. Now it's Munkin is non-committal after. And what did I tell y'all about him saying? You know, he tried to draft your AZZ. So you bragging about drafting him at 141 because you're trying to ease it down his throat that's what he gonna be. I told y'all that's what it was. Now it's the Falcons. Who next? Tennessee? Oh, the Cardinals. Yeah. Because what did the Cardinals just do? The Ravens sent their quarterback coach, T. Martin, a black guy who was the closest person on the team to Lamar, snatched him away from Lamar and sent him to Arizona, and the black guy from Arizona coming over to the Ravens. Now, why are we doing this? Lamar wasn't the problem. Why are we giving him an offensive coordinator that's his age? Why are we taking the closest person to him on the team? So Lamar Jackson is being retaliated against by his own damn team because Harbaugh gone and Munkin needed to be fired. Yep. All you can do is have fun with it till you can't have fun no more. Shedeur already said to the Cleveland media that there are folks that want me to fail, but it's not happening, right? And he gonna have to say the same thing. Yep. It says Shedeur has to prove what? I know that's right. Shedeur ain't proving a damn thing. If you didn't see it, I'm like, what's the process? What's the combine for? Right? What's the point of spending all this time? It's like their goal is to just betray him and eat. That's it. This is what we want to do because they get pleasure out of it. But these people are demons. And as soon as people realize that they demons, they'll move differently. They'll move differently. And I feel like God trying to tell you with the Epstein files, but people just want to close their eyes to it. Okay. So round two, they are demons. They are demons for trying to destroy their own quarterbacks. They drafted these people. That's why the next class that was black decided to go elsewhere. Because they're like, see what NIL was really invented for, so they can have an option to go somewhere else. Now they need to be smart about it and start their own adult. I don't care if it's 7-on-7. I don't care if it's flag. I don't care if it's touch. I don't care. But you need to start your own rather than just fall to the wayside because they don't want you, because they don't value you. The Browns have their franchise quarterback. And I can say that all damn season. It's on them to continue to make poor choices and their fan base to continue to pay for poor choices that you are shunning your franchise quarterback because he black. That's why they keep talking about Malik Willis. That's exactly why Dante Moore went back to school. Because it was going to be him. And he like, No. That's why they're trying to push Trinidad Stambles out. So they can put him somewhere. At some point, you got to get tired. At some point, you just got to get tired. That's just what it is. And when God realizes you're tired in your heart, that's it. That's it. Yep, Shedeur Sanders is QB1. It's that the files are getting hotter and hotter. Oh, yeah, it's straight crazy. So now we have, that's just straight facts. We have Bill Gates' situation being talked about, what happened with his, what he gave his wife and what he brought to her and what was going on and why he kept running up there. And the rapper Plies said something. He said, let me get this right. Everybody that's running over there is rich, right? Billionaires. Why everybody got to go on his jet? Why they don't take their own jet over there? That's a good point. And there's actually a documentary. I watched it last night. There was a jet and they found a way to sell it to somebody and they demolished it. They showed the tractors and cranes and all that crushing the jet. So something happened on them. Something happened on them. And what we're hearing is children were born and don't nobody know where they are. Children have been disappeared, unalived. It's sold, organs, harvesting, cannibalism, you name it. You just is bad. It's bad. And nobody wanting to talk about the 9 because of Sunday. I'm like, okay. These people are demons. They just demons. And when I saw Shedeur standing in front of the Abercrombie and Fitch sign, and the funny thing is that got brought up with the files because of what happened. And I'm like, and to see that being streamed by Disney and to be at the Pro Bowl, I'm like, where there's a will, they're going to find another way. And they're going to drag you into it. And it's just not good. It's just not good, right? It's like, somebody said it's like a scene from the movie Get Out. And they pointed out, you do know the movie Get Out was based on real stuff. It wasn't fake. It was real. These were real accounts of things that had been actually happening. And now and I told you, people all over the place are reading. Did y'all know Instagram was down for a little bit today? Instagram was down for a little bit today. Don't know what happened. But it could be because it's so many people talking about it. And because it's 3 million documents. I mean, there are channels dedicated to this, right? And, the recruiting of people, the luring of people, using the girls that were already taken to send them out to get other people. It was given the whole Diddy situation. I was like, it sounds kind of familiar, right? Using people to go get other people and the abused people are the ones that's recruiting people. That's what they were doing, right? And it's bad. And I really do hate Shedeur's associated with this because it can't be about the love of the game at this point. It has to be, you have to be aware of what's going on around you, because from what I can see, if you ain't aware of what's going on around you, you're going to get sucked into it some way, shape, or form. And all he's getting is betrayed. It's gone from the coaches, the owners. It's gone from the owners in the draft to the owners of the Browns to the head coach Stefanski, to the GM Andrew Berry, to damn near half the offense of the Browns, and now to the goddamn Pro Bowl by the receivers. And then it got you standing in front of Abercrombie and Fitch side. I don't know. Later from Matt too. Oh yeah, facts. They now start to see what he is. And I don't know, the Falcons was on there. Yeah, they don't want to talk about that. It said no, but Kevin is an abuser. It's more it's more than QB competition. Absolutely. It said times change. Time changed. Okay. It said the haters come out after that one interception. Everything Shedeur does, the idiots will try to tear him down. Right. It said all Penix need is an opportunity, not a slick opinion. That's all he need is an opportunity. And I think Penix know where his opportunity gonna come from. And I think they hate that about Michael Penix Jr. because he went on the record and said he don't listen to nobody else. Him and his girlfriend, they consult on a lot. He got a private quarterback coach. They don't like that. And God, they don't like that. Because see, the problem is the Falcons fans couldn't see that Michael Penix Jr. was being set up by his offensive coordinator. Why could we see it? Because we already saw it. See, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you see it, you start to recognize it. Oh, this was happening here. This was happening here. And I told somebody today, now they just sent Zach Robinson over there to set up Baker Mayfield. And it just proves that once they got it in for you, regardless of who you are, they're going to get you. So Baker Mayfield is not black, but you see he got out and they coming for him. Because why? He put it out there about Stefanski. He got out, he left, he went to be successful somewhere else. One of the things I've noticed is if they say you are not him, they're not going to give you an opportunity to say you are him. That's what happened to Jameis Winston when he got to New York. He got devalued by Stefanski. He gets to New York, they bench Russell Wilson because they ain't want him no way. They don't even want him to lead. Why? Because he had the gall to stand up for himself in the collusion case. So did Lamar Jackson. They ain't gonna let him make it. And Monken was a part of that. And he just was rewarded up. And the owner was like, yeah, I like what you did with Lamar. Come on over here and do it to Shedeur because I had to send Stefanski away. And they rewarded him greatly for abuse. And y'all don't think these people are demons? The owner's on the list too. Arthur Blank, I don't know what for, but he's on there. And you notice nobody's talking about it. It said, I hope the ATL fans won't let this slide. Stefanski thinks he's off to the next black quarterback victim. Right, I agree. At 60 years old, what type of coach do you think Monkey really is? I think he a bum. That's what I think he is. I think he a fraud. I think he's failed Lamar intentionally. He was hired to fail Shedeur. He knew it. Schwartz is mad because he figured it out. Harbaugh called it out. Oh, the Browns were always there. The Browns love to play this song and dance like him and Hahn, but they know exactly what they're going to do. And who missed it? Who on the back of a milk carton right now? Who on the back of a milk carton right now? They still got all their eggs in that basket. Watch what I tell you. And that's what I said I wanted to see. Let me see if they're going to pivot. Because Peyton Manning is in an FC files. Have you heard his name? Have you heard his name? No, they had him on every commercial under the sun. Now I don't see him no more. Every quarterback yesterday playing in the Pro Bowl through interceptions. Facts. But the haters talked about Shedeur. Facts. I actually have a post where they were talking about that. And they're like, interceptions happen, but they want to use the interceptions against Shedeur. So yes, interceptions happen, but they want to use them against Shedeur because that's all they got. Manufactured interceptions. They don't have nothing else. That's all I have. How many? Think about it. Shedeur had, did you see them tip passes in the season? It's the same thing. All Jamar Chase did was confirm for you that those interceptions that were tipped was planned. That's all it was. That's all it was. And then they tried to blame Shedeur for getting Quinshon Judkins hurt when it really was Stefanski. Stefanski knew that the line wasn't protected for the running back. See, this is what Atlanta getting ready to learn. Bijan Robinson ain't that dude for them. See, they don't get it. That's why Stefanski, when he was asked about Bijan Robinson, oh, he good. They not trying to win, boo. They not holding Michael Penix Jr. back for the hell of it. They finna hold back the whole franchise so Tyler Shaw can get through there. And Zach Robinson is headed to Tampa to hold back Baker Mayfield so Tyler Shaw can get through there. The same Tyler Shaw that don't have to prove a damn thing. That was already propped up while Spencer Rattler was given the toughest stretch of the season. That means they're going to have to prop him up with largely uncontested passes and the defense not hitting him next year. But Tyrann Mathieu can't keep Shedeur name out his damn mouth. Because they scared. They scared to say anything about Tyler Shaw. They scared to say anything about Jackson Dart. So shut up. If you don't have it in you to be fair about Tyler Shaw and Jackson Dart and criticize them, then you a coward. If all you can do is criticize a black quarterback because you black and you scared to criticize a white quarterback, you a coward. And that's all y'all see. There's a bunch of cowards out here. Just a bunch of cowards who scared because they want to stay associated. Dak and Jalen Hurts, everybody had an interception. So the haters go back to peeling that. Yeah, go back to peeling taters. That's it. It said, on the other hand, it said black quarterbacks won for the NFC. Shedeur is an easy target. Yep. And here's the thing. It's not just, see, that's what's shifting. It's not just the people who don't want to see a black people succeed. Who are they using? So we've gone from watching the Judys and the Chases. Now you're going to start to hear them only tear down the 17-32. Get ready for it. It was actually, I do believe, a black guy making fun of Justin Fields. And I said, it's funny how you want to make fun of Justin Fields, but you don't have nothing to say about what they did to Justin Fields. And that's what I mean. You're getting ready to watch podcasters who don't give a damn, who are black. You're getting ready to watch wide receivers do what they did last year, but just more of them set up these black quarterbacks. And now you're going to hear all of the analysts on these big channels. You don't hear it. They just, that's what they're going to do. They already presented it like that, right? Everybody worried about if Shedeur should have been in the Pro Bowl, but don't have no conversations or not the voice of accountability for how Shedeur ended up with 10 interceptions in the first place. For not calling out Jamar Chase for tipping that damn ball. For not calling out Sutton, who admitted he stopped running on his route. Why you don't call out Jamar Chase and Sutton for selling out the whole AFC in the Pro Bowl? Why it gotta be about Shedeur? Because they cowards. They cowards. Oh, we'll want to call out Jamar Chase. But why not? He a bum. He a bum for selling out the AFC and Sutton too. Neither one of them made mistakes. And Sutton admitted it wasn't a mistake. He's a bum, just like Monkey. It's a lot of bombs. I told you that's what it's going to end up with. Just a bunch of bombs. That's it. I don't know what the hell they're going to do when the last black quarterback is out the way. AB playing that bruh man role. Facts. It said, I wish all of the black athletes just leave. It said, Isaac Hayes III was talking about how can the Falcons hire Kevin, who sabotaged 12 from Atlanta, broke into 12 house and prank call. He spoke on it today. Yeah. If y'all ain't figured out that that's what happened about that house situation, they found number 4 yet? Let me tell you why they ain't found number 4. Number 4 got locked up for 12 years and was the only one that had any type of crimes on his record associated with anything like that. So likely he was somebody, which is why he wasn't in the hotel. He very likely was the person that the point person reached out to. Right? Like the one, hey, I need you, and you, which is why he didn't get caught. And when they got turned in by the very people that they got paid by, he like, I never said I was going back. That's just a theory. Tell me why they can't find it. Atlanta is this big. This big. And you caught the other 3 like that. But you ain't catch the one that was locked up for 12 years. You ain't catch the one that actually had something like this, close to this, on their record. The rest of them didn't. And after you did that, what came out after that? The Epstein file. So now we really know what you're capable of. We really know how you're capable of committing crimes and pretending like you didn't and keeping it business as usual. We really know how you put particular people in places to set up to shield you. If you ask me, that's why they're being exposed. Because they was trying to push the dirty laundry out there in the streets. And apparently, Myles Garrett's too. When you can tell me why only Myles Garrett and Shedeur got robbed, and only Myles Garrett and Shedeur got them speeding tickets after Myles Garrett said, "We gonna need you," after Myles Garrett kept speaking up for Shedeur repeatedly, saying nobody else is making those throws, I go to war with him any day. When you can tell me why only Myles Garrett and Shedeur got robbed by two supposedly different sets of people at around the same time, let me know. That's how you know it was planned. They were being targeted just like they were with those speeding tickets, and they managed to pull that off, right? It's supposed to harass them. It's supposed to get them in line. It's supposed to spook them. Snow with the cheerleaders, yes. Shedeur has only played 7 NFL games. It is so different than college. He will be okay. No, it's not about his skill set. We're not talking about Shedeur's skill set. Matter of fact, what's happening in Cleveland has nothing to do with Shedeur's skill set. Last year in Cleveland under Stefanski, nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders' skill set. It's not about whether he's going to be okay. It's whether or not they're going to continue to devalue him because they don't want him as a quarterback because they want someone else. Not Deshaun, not Shedeur. Because they have plans and Shedeur is not in them. Just because the Browns don't want Shedeur to be their starter does not mean Shedeur is not good. And that's the conversation that needs to be had. That's on the Browns. Instead, I really like that part with Snow and his uncles having fun. Yeah, I think that kid is gonna be a star of some sorts. I just don't know what. Some people think he gonna play football. Delayed, not denied. Yep, we'll see. We'll see. Definitely delayed, but I don't know. It said ATL plays the Browns this year. It said that should be a fun game. Hope 12 is QB1 for that game. Yep, Hope springs eternal. It said those people were from Jackson. They are real hood. How you know they was from Jackson? Is that what they said? I thought he said he was from Cleveland. I thought I heard somebody say he was from Cleveland. But they were in, is that California, right? They was in California, right? It said, I guarantee you the fans were excited to see 12 play in a Pro Bowl. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's actually true. It said Primetime brought his children in the neighborhood he grew up in, and that's why the Sanders adapt. I don't think it was the neighborhood he grew up in. I think, now he did take them to go visit where he used to live, but according to Shedeur, when they played football, at some point, they played in a different environment. They went, he said, to like the hood somewhere, and he taught them to play ball with kids from a different environment so they can have that dog in them. And as you can see, it is working. And they're going to have to do that with Snow too. It said, you love how Shilo said, I will get you the tickets. Yeah, that was cute. That was cute. It said New Orleans do the same. New Orleans play the same game on Canal Street. Right. And that's exactly why I learned to just keep it pushing. Just keep it pushing. That's why I called it 3-con Monty, but I guess it's a shell game. Matter of fact, when we were there for Mardi Gras last year, it was the guy standing right on Canal, just, you know, before the parade started, right outside like one of the stores, and he was playing the shell game. Bucky was with them. Is that who was filming, Peter? Is that who was filming? Okay, Tita said, yeah, Bucky was there filming. It said Florida, Pilar, and Studs. I saw them. I said, when the cameraman get a cameraman, because Studsville was filming at one point, but somebody else was filming. And when they were on Twitch, I heard somebody mention Dom. So I'm thinking maybe that Dom was filming somewhere. Shilo everywhere. Yes, and I love it. I'm happy to see it. Just tapping in. How you doing? How you doing, Isaiah? It said, remember, we still have our dollar. Facts. Break down Josh Allen. Right. How many people have you heard? How many of these analysts? How many? Keyshawn Johnson, has he broken down Josh Allen? See, that's what I'm saying. What people don't want to realize that's what's happening is that not the source, but the people that they use to get it done, right, are changing, right? It's going from the coach derailing the quarterback, or it's going from bringing in Kirk Cousins to derail Michael Penix. Now it's going to be Stefanski, because he succeeded at it, holding Shedeur back, and now Monken is coming to take that place, right? Then you got Davao hanging over there with Cam, and then they taking Lamar Jackson, and they sent him to they blew up his whole situation. And it feels like some type of retaliation, but it's probably from the same retaliation that it always was from when they filed that collusion case, which means his career he'll be treated like Russell Wilson. Yeah. And what did they do? They made Russell Wilson a backup. And when he got to, and think about it, when Russell Wilson was in Denver, look at how they treated him, right? And then when he got to Pittsburgh, look at what happened. He was supposed to be QB2 behind Justin Fields. And I don't know what happened, but he ended up being QB1. They did not like that. They did not like that. That's why Mike Tomlin don't have no job. Mike Tomlin don't have a job because he had the audacity to think he was a head coach and could bring in 2 black quarterbacks. So after them 2 black quarterbacks, he ended up having 2 white quarterbacks. He couldn't get Shedeur unless he was going to make Shedeur QB2. And after that point, they was like, whoever drafted Shedeur going to get fired. So when I tell you there was all kind of strong arming and collusion, so they don't get Shedeur, that's why, like Lamar, Shedeur was already on the trajectory of he's vindicated because it's not him, but it keeps happening to him, just like Lamar. Lamar was vindicated, Shedeur was vindicated, but round 2 has already started. It's already started with the personnel. Yeah, then it's going to be the personnel on the field. Again, let's see who leaves Cleveland. Probably the same people going to be there. They're not trying to make it easy. They're trying to make it difficult. They want to keep the same people so they don't have to go to more people and get them to do what they did last year. Pay attention. It's going to go the same way. And then mind you, think about who's coming into this class. A lot of people decide to hang back. Pay attention to Trinidad Shambliss. He's supposed to be going to court, I think, February 12th. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. They got it for likes and clicks. That's what you're saying. It said, like my dad always said, fair is where you judge pigs. Yep, that's it. Because people need to stop acting like it's on the up and up. They need to stop acting like it wasn't rigged to get the outcome that they have for the Super Bowl. They need to stop acting like the 2 owners of the Super Bowl ain't in the Epstein files. They need to stop acting like it wasn't 9 of them. They need to stop acting like Peyton Manning wasn't listed and we ain't seen him. They need to stop acting like only black GMs have been fired. Like, come on now, stop acting like it's other people got fired. No, stop acting like they not setting up Jim Crow in your face and being exposed at the same time. Stop it. And now, because they busy defending themselves, black men want to pick up the baton and become the ones that make it harder for the black quarterbacks. That's crazy. That's what they do. Black receivers, black analysts, black podcasts. And they don't never talk about the white quarterbacks. Just saying. I'm just saying. It's a little weird. Just a little weird. Just a little weird. Just a little weird. It's that, wait, Justin Fields talking about switching to running back. Yeah. Not only is he talking about switching to running back, he talking about going back to Chicago after free agency to be a running back. To Chicago. I'm like, the Chicago Bears? The team you should be suing for workplace negligence? Oh, Lord. Poor kid. See, what people don't understand is, everybody can't deal with those, with that type of treatment. That's what people understand. When I heard Justin Fields said he was crying in his closet, I said, don't stop telling these people. Stop bearing your soul to these people like you can trust them. It's like he hasn't come to the realization yet who he dealing with and how intentional everything is. And that's sad because they just gonna keep on doing it. They bullies. Demons, bullies, call it what you want. If you understand it in bully form, bullies don't back down until you hold them accountable. And it would be nice if there were people in Justin Fields' corner, but they mocking him. And they trash Shedeur. And it's the same people that trash Lamar, but they don't have, it's crickets for Josh Allen. They'll get on here and say why they like Pat Mahomes, but they want to tear down Shedeur in the same breath. I'm telling y'all, other sports, they don't function like this. Other sports do not function like this. It makes the NBA seem like the breath of fresh air, and I know they got their problems. It said trying to stay up, trying to watch my girl. How you doing? I said, oh, that's right. I'm an hour behind. I forgot. I'm an hour behind. It said Shilo is educated and a young man of multiple talents, like Coach Sanders. Right. And what did Coach Prime say? He said, Coach Prime said his sons will be fine without the NFL. He's right. That's why every time Shedeur releases it with his words, thank you. This was a great opportunity. I met a lot of good people. I hope we can stay connected. Because if we don't, I'm straight. They hate that. But that's exactly how Justin Fields need to be. That's exactly how CJ Stroud was. Somebody said to me, did CJ Stroud cut his hair off? I'm like, it could have been. That means people are starting to internalize what's happening to them. It said, yes, the cornerback Shilo was talking to acknowledge he shouldn't have been kicked out over what happened, but shut him down and told Shilo to call him. Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Totally agree. It said, yeah, they need to grow a spine, bro. That's what's happening. You gotta know your worth. Shilo was playing with his mom that he has ranked his dad number one because he got him an endorsement. That is funny. He told his mama that. Oh Lord. It said going from QB to RB is wild. I mean, he's not a good QB, but damn, I don't know if he's not a good QB. We never had a chance to really see it because they worked him over in Chicago like they did Caleb. And then they paid Caleb's back up $10 million. Show me one black backup who was hired as a backup, went to a D3, D2 school making $10 million after the quarterback that was drafted last year. That's the kind of conversations they should be having. These guys don't have nobody. They don't have the NFL Players Association. They don't have black podcasters, a lot too many. They don't have black analysts who played the game. They just don't. They don't have it. They just don't have it. They got the fans. They got, that's it. Everything gonna fall. All the accountability is going to fall on the shoulder of the fans. Now, one thing I can say about the fans. See, the media thinks it can tell the fans what to think. But the way people talking about this FC situation, I want to see what's going to happen Sunday. I ain't watching it, but it might still be the normal, but it shouldn't be. It definitely shouldn't be. It's not, especially if you got kids or you like kids or you don't appreciate what happens to kids at the hands of abusers. I just don't know how you just do it. And Abercrombie and Fitch just tells the story. Got to be more careful. Russell Wilson and Sierra's name came up. They never met him. He was trying to buy a jet, and it was one being sold by Epstein. No, somebody had a jet, but do you see how they threw them out there, though? That's the point. Yeah, he was never around, but do you see how they threw him out there? Do you see they threw Russell Wilson out there, Jay-Z out there, Pusha T out there? Have you heard Peyton Manning's name yet? Because if nothing happened, that's easy to defend, right? See, everybody want to talk about it was girls. No, it wasn't just girls. It wasn't just little girls. It wasn't just little girls. And Plies is right. So why is it if all y'all got your own jet, do y'all have to only fly on his? It's a valid question. It's a valid question. And mind you, that's 3 million documents. You know how long it's going to take them to go through 3 million documents? I don't know if they over there breaking IG, but it was down for a minute today. And it wasn't long, but it happened. And I'm like, it could be, right? And I update my stories daily. So check them out because it's all kind of people putting stuff out there now. So, and it's verifiable. That's the beauty of it. It's all verifiable. And people are like, the crazy part is you had this the whole time and did nothing with it. That's why foreign countries are now taking it up on themselves to investigate because they know they ain't doing it over here. They don't want to do it. It's people, the foreign countries said they think it's actually worse than what people have read because what has not been discussed is why was all of this happening? Apparently, a lot of the people have never been seen or heard from. again. And it's kind of crazy because I'm trying to figure out, do y'all not know where your children are? And they think the little John Bonet girl was offered up for money. That's what they're thinking happened, that parents knew and let their 13-year-old or their little 6-year-old and they let this happen. That's what the foreign countries are like. This is actually worse. And y'all not gonna look into it. So we're gonna get into it because we actually think it's worse. Buckle up. That's all I can say. It is buckle up. Just to buckle up. Know your worth. That's it. All money ain't good money. That's it. Know your worth. That's what you got to do. The people on the list don't have to talk. It says social media is doing it. Yep. Social media is doing a fine job. That's probably why IG was down today. I wonder if any team will pick up Justin Fields this offseason as a backup. Well, maybe he think he increasing his chances by switching to running back. It said Roger Goodell was standing next to Shedeur on the sidelines at one point at the Pro Bowl. Oh, now that's bold right there. That's bold because I didn't even see him. Oh, lady said Tina say she saw him. Yep, that's what's happening. So basically, the same people that we were wondering why on earth were they jumping up and down. And the funny thing was, I want y'all to understand how this went. Right, it went from talking about Bill Belichick, and people on the internet were arguing because I was like, didn't he cheat? So it's a no-brainer. If he cheated, that's it. And we got to a point where, I saw a lot of white guys on X saying, yeah, he cheated like that, right? But then something happened. It was like just in one day, it was just a bunch of black dudes in their cars and over here upset. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? Did somebody come and ask you to do this? Because it's not making no sense because you didn't say nothing at first. And now when all of these white dudes are coming out and saying he shouldn't be there because he cheated, where you come from with this? I'm not understanding. And the same faction could be different people, but it's the same type of the people sticking up for Bill Belichick are the same type of people. It's the same vibe with the people hating on Shedeur. I'm like, so you letting them use your melanin, I think. That must be what it is. And here's the thing, right? They don't value black people, period. Like at all. Ray Storm, was not just about CTE. It was not just all black NFL players dumb. It's all black people, right? So why is it imperative that when Bill Belichick gets called a cheater and shouldn't be first ballot Hall of Famer, and a bunch of people start saying it's a no-brainer because he cheated, and there's a bunch of white people and a bunch of other people too saying now he cheated, some black people too. Why is it that former NFL players or people associated with the league, but former players that didn't have nothing to say at first, suddenly sound like they got a ping on their phone that was like, I need y'all to go out there as the black voices. You're not going to convince me of shit because somebody that used to play in the NFL who was forced into submission has an opinion. First of all, fans know that they were forced into submission, so they don't have no credibility. We like the way they play football. We don't know nothing about the way they think. And that's what I think is happening. So now you have, for whatever reason, out the blue, Keyshawn Johnson, surprisingly, maybe is he on a show? Does he want to get on the show? Now people are asking, what do y'all get out of this? Jamar Chase, what are you getting out of this for throwing interceptions, for rigging the game? Jerry Judy, what are you getting out of this? Keyshawn, what are you getting out of this for tearing down Shedeur with your black voice and your black face? What are y'all getting out of this? What are you getting out of this for stopping for Bill Belichick? And they don't even value you on the field, right? But suddenly in an argument, when a white person that cheated is being held accountable, you come? Make that make sense to me. And then that was last week. And this week now, I'm like, now why are y'all trashing Shedeur? Because why are y'all doing this, right? It makes no sense to me, but it's given as if they have to lend their voice. Maybe because they used to play. Maybe because they used to play, people feel like if y'all go out there and trash Shedeur, the fans will buy it. And who do you think that is? I honestly, what it really does, it discredits their legacy. It makes Keyshawn look foolish. It makes Ryan Clark look crazy as hell, like he trying to compete for Stephen A's job when he get fired. It makes Tyrann Mathieu look like an idiot because what has he said about his own quarterback? Right? What has he said about his own quarterback? You clearly can't be happy with that situation. They are torching their own legacy. That's it. So they using you to torch your own legacy, to campaign against Shedeur, to campaign for Belichick, who cheated. Your legacy. Okay. As if somehow, if Tyrann Mathieu says it, it's going to be okay. No, we just gonna think Tyrann Mathieu is a goddamn fool. And I want to hear you talk about your own goddamn quarterback. So what it's looking like is there a bunch of scaredy cats that's afraid to criticize white quarterbacks. And they feel like they have to leap to Bill Belichick's defense. I didn't even hear Bill Belichick say nothing. He know he cheated. Did Tom Brady cheat with him? All right then. Maybe they think they in some kind of fraternity. And that's what makes them feel accepted to trash their own and to stand up for cheaters. That's just ignorant. It said, right, did feels wrong. Right. So him wanting to go back to Chicago is not good. Somebody need to check on him. It said they're holding on to a dream instead of figuring a way out to start their own. I like that, Robin. I totally agree because it's kind of crazy. Justin Fields, I wish I might. It said, damn, changing your position QB1. Fact. Michael Penix got told the same thing that Kevin Stefanski told Shedeur. Nothing is given. You have to earn your keep. Fact. And the funny thing is, ain't nobody telling that to Tyler Shaw. Ain't nobody telling that to Jackson Dart. Ain't nobody telling that to Will Howard. Matter of fact, I was reading them talk about Will Howard and I was blown away. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's. I said, damn, I have never heard them talk about Shedeur like this. Jim Crow. And I even told some of the people on X, I said, the guy that was trashing Justin Fields, I said, just in case you don't know, you supported Jim Crow by saying, oh, no, Michael Penix Jr. I said, by making fun of Michael Penix Jr. because he's saying, oh, he needed an opportunity. First of all, he didn't beg for nothing. What you should be talking about, why he has to prove himself. Why only Shedeur, Lamar, and Michael Penix Jr. and black quarterbacks have to prove themselves. All they doing is pushing Jim Crow in your face and using you to push it. Like, shut up. That's what make them look so stupid. You don't even know. So you don't know they playing in your face. You think they playing Shedeur. They ain't playing Shedeur. You think they playing Michael Penix Jr. They not playing Michael Penix Jr. Because one thing I know about those two, they waiting on Jesus. So I don't know what the hell y'all think going on. Ain't neither one of them worried about what the hell they trying to do. That's one thing I can say about Shedeur and Michael Penix. I don't know Lamar like that, but he done figured it out. He should have knew when they asked him, so are you thinking about retiring? That's suggestive. That's them poking fun like we trying to get rid of you. And somebody need to go help Justin Fields. And that's why I'm like, where's his parents? This kid was a multi-sport athlete. He should have went play baseball. Matter of fact, he still should go. It ain't too late. Instead of, why you latching on to these people who are clearly pushing you down and stomping on you and want to make a mockery of your career? Like, no, don't do that. Like, don't do that. So we shall see. So I'm glad y'all starting to see what's happening with the Justin Fields thing. It's starting to get out because I guess he said that today. Justin Fields should just become a backup. No, he should go home. That's what he should do. Go play baseball. Go start your own league. I'll be right back. No, Justin Fields has options and they don't have to involve. Go pick up a camera. Go do something. But you don't sit here and let these people make a mockery of your QB1 position. You sure don't go running back to your abuser. That's what I said. He need help. When I heard him saying he was sitting in his closet on the floor crying, I knew it. I said, he's not going to survive this. And the next one is CJ Stroud. You could tell that what's happening to them is negatively affecting them, right? They hope it affects Cam Ward, but he different, right? They hope it affects Shedeur, but He different, right? But it has negatively affected Justin Fields. It has negatively affected CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud cutting his hair. I don't care how much you change your hair. Your skin, you still black, and they don't want black quarterbacks. What they gonna have to understand, they're gonna have to align themselves. And it might hurt them, right? I don't want to simplify it. It might actually hurt them that I came all this way and y'all don't want me because I'm black. I'm like, well, if you knew black history in the NFL, it really shouldn't be a surprise. But I think it confuses them because they were first round draft picks. Yeah, I think they were high draft picks. So they like, well, it's confusing to them. And maybe they should be confused. I don't know. But I've never been a first round draft pick. But what I do know is shit changes. And you better get yourself together. And y'all better band together on these folks. That's why none of them have sued, which is insane to me. It's insane. Anthony Richardson. So no, Justin Fields should move on. He can play multiple sports. Just do something else. But just know your worth. Somebody needs to talk to Justin Fields. I totally agree. Michael Penix is in a tough position. He shouldn't rush back if he's injured. I totally agree. I totally agree. And you know what? Y'all remember when Lamar was injured and I said, don't come back. Don't rush back here. And he did. Guess what happened? He got injured again. Now we got to hope and pray Shedeur don't get injured because Monken is the one that got Lamar injured twice. And that's probably next on their list. And you got to be careful out here, right? Putting yourself out here in front of people where they can do bodily harm because they keep trying this, they keep trying that, and nothing is working. They just going to keep trying. You have to be honest about that. They just going to keep trying. And you can't, after last year where they crushed Chanel, after that wristband gate, I mean, the Raggedy Wildcats, you can't put nothing past these people. The owner is still the owner. And Stefanski, that the owner was his boss, right? Okay, then where do you think that's coming from? The same people who took him off the draft board. Is it the Browns owner one of those people? Yeah. So you in harm's way. You have to move accordingly. You can't, you have to wonder what they're going to do next after they robbed your house. I mean, only you and Myles Garrett, really? It just don't seem a little safe. It does seem like a get out situation. Yeah, Chase, what's his name? Jamar Chase. I used to like him too. It said Nike like nephew enough to give him his own shoe. Facts. Jamar is a baller though. No, you know what? Who cares? He a bum. He a bum for selling out his team. Just because you can play football. Are you trying to tell me it's more important to have talent than it is to have character and integrity? You lack integrity when you sell out the AFC Pro Bowl game. You lack integrity when you sell out the equivalent of the company picnic. You lack integrity when you cheat in the damn football game. I don't give a damn how good of a quarterback, wide receiver he is. He ought to be ashamed of himself. He out here torching his own legacy by letting them people know that they can use him and they're gonna do the same thing to him they do with everybody else that they use. Discard them. When you let them know what side your bread buttered on, they're gonna come get you. And you're gonna have a temporary gain, and next, your reputation just gonna be trash. Look at Derek Judy. Why would you put yourself in that situation? So it's just sad. It's just sad. Hey, Turner, how you doing? It's just sad. Yeah, Keyshawn could go, but that's what they're doing. All of the guys that's coming out, I'm like, you just lighten the match to your own football legacy. You don't have no more credibility because for one, y'all have kids, and you stopping for Belichick. Belichick cheated. What do you tell your kids? How you gonna coach kids when you support a coach that cheated? What are you saying? If you support a cheater, are you a cheater? And why would you out here be performing for somebody that don't give a damn about you? They have this need to be liked. They have this need to be liked, and that's what's causing the problems. That's what's causing the problems. I don't give a damn how. I used to think Jamar Chase was a good wide receiver, but he need to be a better person. He not a good person for cheating the whole AFC. Bruh, their players went to California and practiced for a few days to win a company picnic game. that people claim they didn't want to watch, and he cheated intentionally so they could lose. Who gives a damn if he's talented? He's a cheater, so he can join Bill Belichick. He's a damn cheater. That's crazy. Yeah, he a snake. Anybody wear that type of stocking cap can't be trusted. Anybody wear that kind of type of stocking cap can't be trusted. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with them. It's that right. They see Justin as weak. Right. So that's what you letting them make a mockery of you, and they want to do to you what they doing to Shedeur. That's why they put Shedeur in the category with Justin. And I'm like, you got to be careful out here. You got to be careful out here because you're dealing with demons. And I don't mean that in a jovial sense. Oh, I'm dead ass serious. I'm like, anybody that let Caleb Williams get sacked 72 times and try to replace him, and he was drafted in the last year, right? Got Anthony Richardson hurt so he could get out the way. Got Lamar hurt so he could get out of the way. And the coach that got Lamar hurt twice was sent over here to Shedeur. So you should be able to predict what the plan is, whether it happens or not. Is probably a part of it. And they showed you toward the end of the season what they were capable of. Did the owner come out and say that's disgusting? We need to protect the quarterback? No. When a quarterback is black, they don't get protected. Not when 17-32 is what it is. And if you can sit up and cry about no black coaches, only black GMs get fired, and you can't see what's happening to black quarterbacks, and you can't look holistically. So what you're telling me is you can't look at it all together and just see the racism. You can't see the anti-blackness. You can't see the plot against black people in leadership positions, including a quarterback position. You can't see that. You can see Bill Belichick need to be in the NFL, but you can't see what's happening holistically to black people in the NFL. You can't see that. Oh, you don't want to see it. Which one is it? Because it's there. And they making it obvious. They letting them know they coming for him. I knew the moment I went and looked at every coach that was fired to see who their quarterbacks were, they were black, with the exception of Daboll. And where is he? Over there with who? Cam. You see? All of them gonna say what Monken is saying. All of them gonna say what they saying to Michael Penix Jr. All of them. And you know what? It's gonna be some black people out here associated with NFL that's, well, yeah, they should just start over, but they're not gonna say nothing when the white quarterbacks don't have to start over. They just destroying the league. That's all it is. They just destroying the league. The competition is not there. It's preference over talent, and is pushing out black people. So it is destroying it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I guess we get ready to get out of here. Yeah, there's some demons, bro. That's just what it is. It said the full Shedeur interview. Oh, that lady. I intentionally did show it. I saw that. People trying to catch Shedeur into some kind of baited conversation. Shedeur's smarter than that. He got it right. She was asking Shedeur. She was asking Shedeur about Monken and saying that he's like to be determined. He just blew it off and said, well, that's to be expected, right? So ain't nothing he can do about it. They said, I think interceptions gonna have to be categorized. It should be QB because interceptions are wide receivers. Right. Wide receivers are causing interceptions, and it's going back on the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Next season, there should be a weekly report on these sabotaging black wide receivers that intentionally drop the football when the QB is black. I agree. I totally agree. Amber said, one of the guys that was in Cali said they were from Jackson State and asked them when they were coming back to see the Sonic Boom. One guy did say he lived in Cleveland. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good. So they ran into some people from Jackson State out there. It said the reason Shilo said it is because Shedeur could get in trouble if they see it as gambling. Okay. Okay. And you know what? When they were at the house for Thanksgiving, he said something, and he said, I'm just kidding. I didn't want people to think that we gamble. So, okay, that makes sense. The guy from the Jackson era show 12 his ID to prove he was from Jackson. Okay. That's pretty good. It said Don was filming too. So he was there. He was standing next to Shilo. Okay. It said Bucky said they can gamble because they're over 21. He said athletes are not allowed to play sports bets. So athletes can't do any of the betting with all of the betting partners? That's interesting. It said, did you see what he did after the Pro Bowl? They made a walk song. I didn't see it. It said they set out to the lynch mob to take down the black quarterbacks. Yep. And let's see how long it takes them to figure it out this season. And let's see who tries to cover it up. It said we need to support all of the black quarterbacks on social media like we support Shedeur. I totally agree. I totally agree. It said karma's going to get there, these white quarterbacks, because they are all white head coaches. Those teams may end up with a losing record. What the purpose is what happened today. Right. We definitely out on Sunday. So I'm not entertaining any of that Sunday. What they're trying to do is what happened this year, right? So they were playing musical chairs, whether you knew it or not. They were derailing Jalen Hurts. That's why AJ Brown. Then what you saw Jamar Chase do, you saw AJ Brown causing the ruckus. You saw Jamar Chase. You saw Sutton hang back. The guy in Chicago, Jerry Jeudy in Cleveland, whoever that was against Jameis Winston in New York. So that's just a few right there, right? You're gonna see more of it this year. You're gonna see more of it. Now I don't know what kind of conversations they be having, because it's hard to get people to tap dance just out the blue. They have to have some type of motivation to do this. So it's already documented that allegedly, like Brian Flores and Hugh Jackson were incentivized to lose. It's already well documented that with Bounty Gate, players were incentivized to hurt other players. So it shouldn't be a stretch to ask if black wide receivers, just like Mark Andrews, got handsomely rewarded, do we now have black wide receivers being incentivized, aka bribed, to cause interceptions or drop passes? This is a valid question because it's already happened in 2 other areas. So it makes sense to ask if that's what's happening, because that's what the pattern is supporting. Why is it only black guys this year? See what happened in Cleveland and Baltimore. First, it was Mark Andrews. That was the first time I ever saw anything like that, right? Then after Mark Andrews caught all that heat, it shifted to Derrick Henry. Then we found out Derrick Henry was represented by the Sexton people, right? So he was a part of that clique. And now what happens? You realize that Todd Monken was the coach for the Mark Andrews situation. He was the coach for the Steelers situation, right? So you realize that they brought him in and he executed that. So he just got elevated. So did Stefanski. And it's not that Stefanski was brought in for Shedeur. He was already there. So what he was already doing to Deshaun, he was supposed to do to Shedeur. What did Stefanski do to Deshaun? Made sure he was not available for a full season. And he never was. What did we see done at the end of the season? We saw them crush Shedeur's hand so he could be unavailable by ripping his nail off. You're talking about people that have a deep-seated hatred for black people, only see them as tools to be exploited. And when those tools get to somewhere, they don't think they belong because they're not worthy, because they have standards for the position, they get hurt. It's called making them unavailable. So Shedeur has to survive next season without them picking up where they left off, making him unavailable. All right, so we're going to see y'all later. I'll be back tomorrow, and who knows what tomorrow will bring, but it's true about Michael Penix now getting the Shedeur treatment of, yeah, we don't know about you. We don't know. We're going to have to see. And it is true, Justin Fields talking about after free agency going to Chicago to be a running back. And it is true, Shedeur put out a message of gratitude, which, if you ask me, is Shedeur doing the right thing once again, not being thirsty for anything that the NFL offers. He's happy to have the opportunity. He had fun with it, and he hopes he can stay connected, but he not begging. And that's the right attitude to have. And I hope all of the Black quarterbacks that are around this year that make it to QB1 or on a roster have the same attitude that Shedeur has. You're willing to release this and not begging to accept anything so they can mock you. All right. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. I'll be back tomorrow, guys. Have a good night.